Alright, imagine this. You're just minding your own business, living your best post-apocalyptic life, when suddenly, you're forced into a high-speed chase across a desert, with explosions going off left and right, and a bunch of crazy people with weapons strapped to everything. And no, this isn't your average road trip. This is Mad Max, Fury Road, and it's not just a movie. It's an adrenaline-fueled nightmare wrapped in an explosion of chaos. Buckle up because you're about to dive into a world where rules don't exist but explosions do. So let's start with the basics. Max, a dude who's had way too many bad days, is minding his own business when he's captured by a group of maniacs led by the most terrifying villain with a chrome mask and a sick desire for control over water. Meet Immortan Joe. This guy is as messed up as they come, with a face that looks like it's been marinated in a lifetime of bad decisions and a cult of followers who literally worship him. He controls the water, and in a world where water is more valuable than gold, that makes him a god. But plot twist, Immortan Joe's got a bigger problem on his hands than just being a creepy dictator. He's losing his hold on everything. And here's where it gets wild. Furiosa. She's a badass, one-armed, no-nonsense warrior who's had enough of Joe's sick regime. She's got a mission, and that mission is to free a group of women who are essentially being treated like human incubators. Yep, you heard that right. But she doesn't just roll up and say, "Hey, I'm taking the women and leaving." Nah, she's got a whole strategy, a heavily armed truck, and she's ready to flip the bird to Immortan Joe and everyone who's ever told her she couldn't do something. Now, let's talk about Max. Poor Max. This dude's been through some serious stuff in his life. He's been haunted by the loss of his family and has spent way too many years as a feral, half-mad, survivalist maniac. He's not interested in saving anyone, he just wants to survive. But as fate would have it, he's dragged into Furiosa's wild plan because, let's face it, he's the least worst option. Now, Max and Furiosa are in this death ride together, and that's when things really start to get insane. The movie's action scenes? Forget everything you've ever seen. We're talking about a massive, armored truck speeding through a desert, with a guy playing a flaming guitar on the front of it. Seriously, it's like someone took all the action tropes and said, let's go 1000% more ridiculous. There's no time to breathe. There's no slow burn here. From the moment the movie kicks off, it's non-stop chaos. The vehicles are insane, the fight scenes are wild, and every explosion is so over the top that even Michael Bay would be like, whoa, calm down, guys. The movie has this perfect blend of practical effects and CGI that feels so grounded it could actually be real. Except for all the fire-breathing cars and mutant warlords. But what really makes this movie stand out is the characters. Because, in a world where resources are scarce, survival isn't just a matter of brute force. You've got Max, a guy who's more emotionally scarred than an old leather chair. And then there's Furiosa, who's got this tough-as-nails exterior, but you can see she's got a heart of gold underneath. And the women she's saving? They're not just helpless damsels in distress. These ladies are just as tough, if not tougher, than the guys. Each one of them has their own motivations, fears, and reasons for fighting, and they make the whole story even more compelling. And then there's the villain, Immortan Joe, the ultimate crazy dictator, who wears a mask that looks like a mix between Darth Vader and a death metal album cover. He's got a whole army of psycho followers, including these creepy dudes who have half of their faces painted with chrome. Don't ask me why, I don't know. And Joe's whole thing? He wants to rule the world, but he's also really into the idea of controlling women and using them as breeding machines. Yep, that's right. You're gonna hate this guy. A lot. You might even start cheering for his downfall, which, trust me, is coming. And when it does, it's glorious. Here's where the movie gets philosophical for a second. It's about power. It's about control. But it's also about hope. Furiosa isn't just trying to run away from Immortan Joe. She's trying to change things. She's not just looking for freedom for herself. She's looking to free the people trapped in this desert hellscape. She's got a higher cause than Max. He's just trying to find a way to not go completely crazy while making sure he doesn't get killed in the process. But let's not forget the ridiculousness that is Max's help. He's not a hero, he's just a guy trying to survive. He gets pulled into this crazy ride, but half the time he's like, I don't even know what I'm doing anymore. Still, his chemistry with Furiosa? Gold. By the end, you'll find yourself rooting for them, even if they're both completely unhinged. The back and forth between Max and Furiosa is one of the highlights of the film. Now, don't think I'm giving away the whole movie, but you have to know that the end of this film is one of the most epic, jaw-dropping action sequences you'll ever see. We're talking high-speed chases, fire explosions, and a final showdown that'll have you on the edge of your seat. I'm talking the kind of finale that makes you think, was that even legal? Should I be watching this? In conclusion, Mad Max Fury Road isn't just a movie, it's a work of art. It's high-octane, unapologetically violent, and bursting with the kind of energy that'll have you glued to the screen. It's the kind of movie that doesn't give a damn about your feelings or expectations. It just delivers. And when it's done, you'll have more questions than answers, but you'll still be thinking about it long after the credits roll. So, do yourself a favor. If you haven't seen Mad Max Fury Road yet, go watch it. Because if you don't, I'm pretty sure you'll never understand how crazy the post-apocalypse can really be.